Yeah.
State resources were used for this, di ba? The state enabled, the national government enabled this. Let's be very clear about that, di ba? By supporting that family. So, di ba, the backhoe was government resources. PNP was used, di ba? Very likely that the military knew, at least of the movement that was happening. They know everything that's happening there. So, alam natin lahat yan. So, that has to stop. Because it will happen again. That's a problem. It will happen again if you don't stop that culture.
Okay, balikan lang natin yung live pictures from the courtroom in Camp Bagong Diwa. We're counting na almost 2 hours na tayong naghihintay before yung original schedule of the 9 a.m. reading of the verdict. But a few minutes ago, nakita rin natin naman si Judge Solis Reyes enter the courtroom. Nagtawanan pa nga doon kasi akala nila magsisimula na agad yung proceedings. No? But Attorney Te was saying magsusuot pa yan ng robe, and then there are other things that she has to do. No? So hanggang ngayon, almost 2 hours na we're still waiting for the start of the court proceedings. Attorney Te, yung binabanggit kanina ni Attorney Tony about state violence, also yung parang, I don't know if you've talked about that, warlordism, feudalism, especially in Mindanao. Nakikita niyo pa ba na magiging issue pa rin yun? Or
well, I think so. You know, this is an important decision, no doubt about it. But in terms of managing expectations, this will not stop impunity. This will not stop the culture. It will be a significant step towards it. But I think what the takeaway from this is, regardless of the number of people convicted today, for example, the takeaway from this should be that the way that we look after cases that may shatter impunity should be that. It had to take 58 people killed, 32 of whom were journalists, with media monitoring it every step of the way, reminding, nangangalampag, nagde-demand, no, na hindi lubayan yung kaso para umabot tayo dito. But there are cases that do not have the same profile. And you know, those cases actually add to impunity. Maraming hindi nahuhuli, maraming hindi na-aresto, maraming na-aresto, hindi na-trial. So, you know, how we cannot have every case attended to in this manner eh. Hindi dapat eh. 'Di ba? So dapat tuloy-tuloy lang sana yung ganitong pattern na the people can start to trust the courts again to do the right thing. Unfortunately, it had to take 10 years of monitoring para umabot ka dito. And it had to take a judge who sacrificed, 10 years na hindi siya mapopromote, na magbasa ng kaso, antayin niya, tsagain niya to, despite numerous motions to inhibit her. No, hindi siya bumigay. Kasi madali sanang bumigay na lang siya eh. Nag-inhibit na siya, tapos na, madali na yung buhay niya. Diba? Siyempre, may mga threat yan. So, it had to take that. So, ilang beses natin ulitin ito para umabot tayo dun sa point wherein the courts can really be trusted to deliver a verdict even without ganito ka-grabing monitoring.
Let me just add, politically naman, not legally, may konting pagbabago naman sa Maguindanao, no? Because you have the Bangsamoro now.
Yeah, that's right.
Pero hindi konti yun.
Malaking bagay yun.
That's right.
From what I see naman, the MILF that's running the Bangsamoro is independent of any of these political families, independent of the national government. I mean, they were, and so medyo the political dynamics have changed, no? Now, of course, we will test that in the next elections, whether the families will all be back.
Right.
But there's another sweetener there, or another good thing. Ang sa Bangsamoro, system of government is a parliamentary form of government.
Yes.
So nobody can control Bangsamoro now.
Family,
It has to be always a coalition of families, political parties, etc. And I think it's the best thing that has happened in that area, also as a way of preventing violence, diba? Because then no single family will be able to control Bangsamoro. I mean, that's a design. I hope it happens that way.
Yeah, I'd like to add too, no? That's a big thing, what happened, the Bangsamoro, the BARM that we have set up already. From the ARM, it's a vast improvement of the ARM because MILF is in power right now, no? But outside of that, the NGOs, the civil society groups, I think should strengthen themselves in support of this, in support of democratic governance and human rights and social justice. So that's a slow process, but I think that is the correct direction, rather than what are being advised earlier from the lawmakers themselves. No?
Okay, we're looking at some movement doon sa courtroom kanina. Parang inaayos na nila yung mic. Of course, we're like 2 hours and 4 minutes delayed na doon sa original schedule of the announcement of the verdict to be handed down by Judge Jocelyn Solis Reyes for the Maguindanao Massacre. 58 people were killed, including 32 journalists on trial. Here are the primary accused, members of the Ampatuan family. Okay, let's listen in.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Jocelyn A. Solis Reyes presiding. Silence is hereby enjoined. Be seated.
Call the cases.
Criminal cases numbers Q-09-162148272, Q-09-162216231, Q-10-162652266, Q-10-1637766, and GL-Q-12-178638. People of the Philippines versus Datu Andal Ampatuan Jr. and others. Tatawagin po yung mga pangalan po ng mga accused at pag tinawag po yung pangalan nyo, maaari po ay tumindig po lamang. Datu Andal Ampatuan Jr. Datu Zaldy Ampatuan. Datu Andal Ampatuan Sr. Datu Sajid Islam Ampatuan. I repeat, Datu Sajid Islam Ampatuan. It's not in court, Your Honor. Datu Anwar, not around, Your Honor. Datu Anwar Ampatuan Sr. Takpan Dilon I. Manipol. Takpan Dilon. Police Chief Inspector Sukarno A. Dikay. Police Senior Inspector Abdul Gapor Abad. Police Superintendent Abusama Mundas Magid. Police Superintendent Banarin Kamaong. Police Superintendent Abdul Wahid Padtukasan. SPO2 George Labayan. SPO2 Badawi Bakal. SP1 Oscar Donato. SP1 Samad Usman Magindra. SP1 Alimola L. Gianaton. SP1 Ali Solano. SP1 Eduardo H. Ong. SPO1 Elise Rendaje. He is in wheelchair, Your Honor. PO3 Gibrael Alano. PO3 Felix Ababaw Dakilos. PO3 Abibudin S. Abdulgani. PO3 Ricky Balanueco. Again, PO3 Ricky Balanueco. Not in court, Your Honor.
Who is not in court? Balanueco?
PO3 Rasid Anton. PO3 Felix Enate Jr. PO2 Hamad Nana. PO2 Kendatu S. Rakim. PO2 Saudiar Ula. PO2 Saudi Pasutan. PO2 Rexon Giama. PO1 Herrick Amaba. PO1 Badjun Panegas. PO1 Muhammad Balading. PO1 Datu Jerry M. Uto. PO1 Abdullah Bagwadatu. PO1 Tamano Hadi. PO1 Abdul Bayan Mundas. PO1 Esprielito Lejarzo. PO1 Ismael Gialal. PO1 Jimmy Kadtong. PO1 Marjul Julkadi. PO1 Abdurrahman Batarasa. PO1 Abdulanan Saavedra. PO1 Marsman Milong. PO1 Narcoc Mascud. PO1 Arnulfo A. Soriano. PO1 Rainer Ebus. PO1 Ebara Bebot. PO1 Pendatun Dima.
Lima?
PO1 Pendatun Dima, not around, Your Honor. PO1 Michael Makarongon. Datu Jimmy Ampatuan. Datu Anwar Sajid Ampatuan. Datu Anwar EP Ampatuan. Police Inspector Michael Joy Macaraeg. Police Inspector Michael Joy Macaraeg, not in court, Your Honor. Police Inspector Zaldy Mokamad. PO2 Tani Dalgan. PO1 Amir Sulaiman. PO1 Michael Madsig. PO1 Sandy Sabang. PO1 Pia Camidon. PO1 Dukoy Badal. PO1 Warden Kusain Legawan. PO1 Jonathan Engid. PO1 Anwar Masukat. Mani Upam Ampatuan. Miswari Ampatuan. Abbas Anongan, also known as Abbas Andongan or Abbas Gani Abutasil. Wala na.
Where is he?
He was ready for your release for your release.
Ah, okay.
Granted on the demur. Muhammad Sangki. Datutuhon Ismail, also known as Datutulon Malagyal Ismail. Mokhtar Daud. Alimuddin Sanguyod, also known as Noruddin Garaputay. Fahad Watamama Uto, also known as Richard Goffel. Samsudin Daud. Or Dani Olivares. Teng Sali, also known as Abdullah Hamid Abdul Kahar. Nasser Ismail. Abedin Alamada, also known as Commander Bedi. Maot Bangkulat, also known as Benji Dagintingan. Bong Andal. In orange. Edris Kasan, also known as Edris Gogo Ali. Akad Makaton, also known as Muhammad Salazar Piang. Maot Dumla, also known as Not Abdul or Not Duma. Nasser Talib, also known as Morales Hisay Amilol. Taya Bangkulat. To Ahmad Amino. Malagyal Tanuri, also known as Johari Montok Malagyal. Zakaria Akil, also known as Quago Pamal Akil. And Tintingan Kamad Makaalay. Same. Denga Mentol or Ronnie Opong. Samaon Andatuan. Kudsa Masukat, also known as Kudsa Ugiya Masukat, Datu Teng. Sa lipad, Tampogaw. Talembo Masukat. Sahid Yamadel. Mama Habib. And Rakim Amil alias Rakim Kenog. Present.
Done? Okay. Before the actual reading of the consolidated partial decision, I just would like to inform the parties that said consolidated partial decision consists of 761 pages. Yes, if we start from the beginning up to the end, we might not be able to finish it the whole day. So I would like to know from the parties if you are amenable that only the salient features will be read. Just the dispositive. Okay. Prosecutor
Your Honor.
Robles, yes.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Please, appearances first.
Yes, representing for the state, City Prosecutor Anwar L. Robles, together with the prosecution panel, we are ready for the promulgation. And may we move, Your Honor, that only the dispositive portion of the decision be read, considering, as you have, the court have just mentioned, it consists of more than 700 pages.
Yes. Any objection?
Respectfully appearing, Your Honor, for the former governor of ARMM, Datu Zaldy Ampatuan, Your Honor. I'm Attorney Andre De Jesus of the Seguera De Jesus D and Chico Law Offices. We join the motion of the prosecution, Your Honor, for this honorable court to dispense with the reading of the body of the decision and instead read the dispositive portion, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. Noted. Appearances first.
Your Honor, for the 38 victims of the Maguindanao Massacre, we pray, Your Honor, that the silent points be read and the dispositive points.
Appearing for 19 private complainants, law firm of Butuyan and Reyes, Attorney Harry Roque of counsel with Attorney Gilbert Andres. We join actually Attorney Nena Santos in requesting that the salient points be read may we know, Your Honor, if how long the salient points would be? Because if it is possible, Your Honor, if it's physically possible to finish within the day, just reading the salient portions, then perhaps for the benefit also of the entire nation who's watching this case now, perhaps we should read the salient points, Your Honor.
Thank you, allowed to speak.
Go ahead.
I'm Attorney Maria Gemma J. Oquendo representing Catalino Oquendo Jr. and Cynthia Oquendo, Your Honor. I would like to join the manifestation of Attorney Nena Santos and Attorney Harry Roque. We have been waiting for this moment, Your Honor, 10 years. And there are so many people waiting to be informed of the real facts from the Honorable Court, Your Honor. So that all the facts that will come from it would only be coming from the Honorable Court, not from commentaries, Your Honor. So I would like to move the salient points if it would not consume the whole day, Your Honor.
Your Honor,
Yes, Attorney Principe.
good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Pete Principe, I joined the manifestation of my fellow private prosecutors, Your Honor. Only the important points, the salient points, and then the dispositive portion, Your Honor.
Let's listen first to the other. Let's listen first to the public prosecutors.
Yes, Your Honor. May we inquire from the court how long will it take or how many pages would be the salient portions, if ever?
It won't take long.
How many
It won't take
pages, Your
long.
Honor?
I'm not sure, but it won't take long.
If that is the wish, Your Honor, of the parties, Your Honor, and if there is no objection on the part of the accused as well, we will be we submit to the discretion of the Honorable Court. How long?
Magandang tanghali po. Though I heard correctly, Your Honor, the Honorable Court statement to the effect that this decision is a consolidated, partial decision.
Yes.
I'm wondering, with all due
Because
respect.
there are still about 80 accused who are at large.
I see. Just the same, Your Honor, I would like to, with all courtesy and respect, insist to abbreviate the proceedings, Your Honor. After all the parties and the lawyers are provided with a copy of the body of the decision, that only the dispositive portion be read, Your Honor, please.
Yes, everybody will be provided copies of the consolidated.
Attorney Kanya for Datu Ampatuan Sr.
Good morning, Your Honor. For Colonel Magid and Espioto Bakal, I agree with him, Your Honor, that the dispositive portion, it's almost now 11:20, Your Honor. I would agree with Attorney Kanya, Your Honor, that the dispositive portion be just read, Your Honor.
Yes,
Your Honor, please, same appearance. I have 84 clients in my portfolio. They are grouped in the following manner: Labayan et al., Solano et al., and they are collectively known as 1507 Police Mobile Group. Donato et al., also known as 1508, Your Honor, please, and civilian organizations.
CBOs.
Yes, Your Honor. And I'm always doing this to your court. Whatever be the result, I would like to greet everybody a happy, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Salient point in this stupid portion, because I have 84 clients, Your Honor.
Yes, Attorney
Good morning,
Santos. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Morning, Your Honor. Respectfully appearing as counsel for PO1 Michael Madsig, Your Honor. I am Attorney Ralph Lawrence Margallo of GP Angeles and Associates Law Office. So I will join the motion that only the dispositive portion be read, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
Hello. Hi, Your Honor. For Datu Andal Ampatuan Jr., I'm Attorney Paul Lacwatan. I joined the manifestation that the dispositive portion should only be read. Your Honor.
Just
Thank
the
you.
dispositive portion. Okay. So I will make a ruling.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's read the dispositive portion.
Move for reconsideration, Your Honor.
Attorney Roque will be provided a copy of the decision.
Your Honor, the Supreme Court approved the live coverage of this proceeding because the whole nation is watching us. They want to know the findings of us. And then the dispositive portion, Your Honor. Not only the whole nation, the whole world is watching the proceeding today. Your Honor. They're entitled to know the findings, the salient features, Your Honor. Not only the dispositive portion. Your Honor.
Yes, Prosecutor Robles.
Court has to be ruled that the dispositive portion will be free of course the disposition of distinguished non-chair code.
Go ahead,
Your Honor,
Prosecutor
with the
Robles.
order of this court allowing only the reading of the dispositive portion, Your Honor, and also in consonance with the Supreme Court and Bank Notice of Resolution dated December 10, 2019, that the decision once promulgated will be immediately uploaded in the BIO of the website of the Supreme Court. So everyone will be able to see and browse and upload also the decision. So I think it would be best if we start with the promulgation of the dispositive portion.
Okay, so just the dispositive portion. I'm sorry, Attorney Roque, but
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor, we bow to the
just
decision of the
just the dispositive portion will be read.
Your Honor, please before the reading of the dispositive portion, I am waiving the appearance of PO3 Ricky Villanueva and Pendaton Tima, Your Honor.
Where are they?
I don't know, Your Honor. But I told them to attend, Your Honor.
Are they bonded?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, incidentally, Your Honor, it appears that based on the reading of the calendar, Your Honor, when the accused were called, there are several accused who are not present in this court, such as Ampatuan Sajid Islam, Balanueco Ricky, Guillama Rexon, and Michael Joy Macaraeg, Your Honor. First, may we inquire from
I
the...
think it's Dima. Dima.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I stand corrected. May we know, Your Honor, from the records of the court if these accused are duly notified personally or through their counsel or through their bonding companies if they are bonded?
Everybody was notified.
In view of that, Your Honor, under the rules, may we move that an order be issued directing these accused that within 12 hours to submit in writing their reason for neglecting and refusing to appear at this court proceeding despite the lawful order of the court. And if the so warrant, Your Honor, a warrant of arrest be issued and their bail be confiscated in favor of the court, Your Honor.
If Your Honor, please. If Your Honor, please. I respectfully appeal for accused Sajid Ampatuan, Your Honor. I is presently in this post and will not be able to come to court for this promulgation, Your Honor. But he has no objection to the proceedings so that it can already be done, Your Honor, please.
Excuse me, what was that?
We are not objecting to the promulgation, Your Honor. Yes.
Actually, you cannot waive your presence during the promulgation. It's just like arraignment. And during the initial trial where the accused will be identified by the complainant, you cannot waive that.
We submit, Your Honor, but in that case, Your Honor, we respectfully request that we be given time to submit the justification for his non-appearance in court today, Your Honor. At least,
Have you formally entered your appearance as counsel? Have you entered your formal appearance as counsel of
I did, Your
Sajid?
Honor, please. I did, Your Honor.
You did?
As a collaborating counsel of the Marquis Law Office, Your Honor, please.
Yes. Can I have your name, please?
Attorney Manuel Reyes Castro, Your Honor.
Attorney Manuel.
Reyes Castro.
Okay. So let's start with the proceedings, with the promulgation of judgment. Madam Interpreter, kindly read the decision. Please make it slow.
Yes, Your Honor. Consolidated partial decision. Wherefore, in view of the foregoing, judgment is hereby rendered as follows. In criminal case numbers Q-09-162148272, Q-109162216231, Q-10-162652266, and Q-10-1637766, or 57 counts of murder. Number 1, the prosecution having established the guilt beyond reasonable doubt of the following accused who are found to have acted as principal, namely Datu Andal Ampatuan Sr., Datu Anwar Sajid Datu Ulo Ampatuan, Datu Anwar Datu EP Ampatuan Jr., Police Inspector Saudi Muhammad, PO1 Jonathan Engid, Abedin Alamada, alias Commander Bedi, Talembo Tami Masukat, alias Talembo Kahar Abdul Rahman, Teng P. Sali, alias Abdullah Hamid Abdul Kahar, Mani Ampatuan, Nasser Esmael, alias Nasruddin Esmael, Datu Zaldy Ampatuan, Police Chief Inspector Sukarno Dikay, Police Superintendent Abu Sama Mundas Magid, Police Superintendent Banarin Kamaong, Datu Anwar Ampatuan Sr., Tato Tampogaw, Muhades Ampatuan, Muhammad T. Datu Manong alias Nicomedes Ahmad Tolentino, Miswari Ampatuan, Taya Bangkulat Salik Bangkulat, Thong Yamano alias Ibrahim Kamal Tatak, Sani K. Pindi alias Joven Salazar Piang, alias Bimbo Salazar Piang, Armando Ambalgan alias Hamil Bulatukan Kayansang, Bulatukan Omar, testified as Omar Bulatukan Kayansang, Kudza Masukat Ugya alias Datu Teng Ibrahim or Mustafa Ibrahim, Edres Kasan alias Edres Gogo Alip, who testified as Edres Gugo Kasan, Zakaria P. Akil alias Quago Akil, and Samaon Andatuan. They are hereby convicted and sentenced to suffer the penalty of imprisonment of reclusion perpetua without paroles pursuant to RA 9346. Number 2, likewise, the prosecution having established the guilt beyond reasonable doubt of the following accused who are found to have acted as accessories, namely Police Inspector Michael Joy Macaraeg, PO3 Felix Enyate, PO3 Abibuddin Abdul Ghani, PO3 Rasid Anton, PO2 Hamad Nana, PO2 Saudi Pasutan, PO2 Saudiar Ula, PO1 Esprielito Leharso, PO1 Narcook Maskud, PO1 Pia Camidon, PO1 Esmael Gialal, PO1 Arnulfo Soriano, PO1 Heritage Amaba, a member of the 1508 PMG, Police Senior Inspector Abdul Gapor Abad and Bong Andal. They are hereby convicted and sentenced to suffer the indeterminate penalty of imprisonment of 6 years of prison correctional as minimum to 10 years and 8 months of prison mayor as maximum. Number 3, on ground of reasonable doubt, the following accused are hereby acquitted, namely SPO1 Elizer Rendaje, SPO1 Alimola Gianaton, SPO1 Samad Magindra, PO3 Ricky Balanhueco, PO3 Gibrael Alano, PO2 Rexon Giama, PO1 Amir Solaiman, PO1 Bajun Panegas, PO1 Pendatun Dima, PO1 Ebara Bebot, PO1 Tamano Hadi, PO1 Michael Macarongon, also known as Labayan Group, SPO1 Ali Solano, PO3 Felix Daquilos, PO2 Kendatu Rakim, PO1 Abdul Rahman Batarasa, PO1 Marjul Julkadi, PO1 Datu Jerry Uto, PO1 Muhammad Balading, PO1 Marsman Nilong, PO1 Ismael Barakir, PO1 Abdul Manan Saavedra, and PO1 Jimmy Kadtong, known as Solano Group, PO1 Sandy Sabang, Takpan Dilon, Datu Teng Ibrahim or Mustafa Ibrahim alias Kudsa Masukat, PO1 Warden Legawan, Jonathan Ampatuan, Jimmy Ampatuan, Rainer Ebus,
Counsel.
Mohammad Sanki, Tho Amino, Norman Tatak, Malagyal Tanuri alias Johari Montok Malagyal, Alimudin Sanguyod alias Norodin Malang, Mama Habib, Sahid Yamadel alias Arnel Abdullah, Datutulon Esmail, Kasim Lingkong alias Abdul Kadir Saludin, Akad Makaton alias Muhammad Salazar Piang, Norhato Camino alias Alfetche Banding, Nasser Malagya alias Ramon Dadulo, Police Inspector Banarin Kamaong, and Police Superintendent Abdul Wahid Pedtukasan. PO1 Ahmad Kamsa Badal, PO2 Tani Dalgan, PO1 Anwar Masukat, Samsudin Daud, Maot Bangkulat alias Benji Dagendengan, Denga Mentol alias Ronnie Ofong, Fahad Uto alias Richard Gofel, Datu Ahmad Tato Ampatuan,
Order in court, please.
and Datu Sajid Islam Ampatuan. Number 4, likewise accused PO1 Abdul Wadatu, PO1 Oscar Donato, and PO1 Michael Madzig are acquitted as the evidence of the prosecution has absolutely failed to prove their guilt. Accordingly, the jail warden of Quezon City Jail Annex is hereby ordered to immediately release the aforementioned accused and
Order in court, please. The proceeding is not yet over.
the jail. Sorry. The jail warden of Quezon City Jail Annex is hereby ordered to immediately release the aforementioned accused unless they are being detained for some other lawful cause or causes. Number 5, all the principal accused are likewise ordered to pay the following heirs jointly and severally. Namely, number 1, the heirs of victim by Jenaline Mangudadatu. Number 2, heirs of victim Napoleon Salaysay. Number 3, heirs of victim Victor Nunez. Number 4, heirs of victim Joel Parcon. Heirs of victim Santos June Gatchalian. Number 6, heirs of victim Jolito Evardo. Number 7, heirs of victim Andres Teodoro. Number 8, heirs of victim Daryl Vincent de los Reyes. Number 9, heirs of victim Anthony Ridao. Number 10, heirs of victim by Eden Mangudadatu. Number 11, heirs of victim Eugene De Melo. Number 12, heirs of victim Jose Joy Duhay. Number 13, heirs of victim Arturo Betia. Number 14, heirs of victim Lindo Lupogan. Number 15, heirs of victim Mercy Palabrica. Number 16, heirs of victim Ronnie Perante. Number 17, heirs of victim Rosel Morales. Number 18, heirs of victim Wilhelm Palabrica. 19, heirs of victim Rubel Bataluna. 20, heirs of victim Francisco Subang. 21, heirs of victim Raida Sapalon Pamensang. 22, heirs of victim Rahima Palawan. Number 23, heirs of victim Noel Decena. Number 24, heirs of victim Fernando Razon. Number 25, heirs of victim Eleanor Dalmasio. Number 26, heirs of victim Cynthia Oquendo. Number 27, heirs of victim Marife Montaño. Number 28, heirs of victim Jeffon Kadagdagon. Number 29, heirs of victims Eduardo and Cecil Lechoncito. Number 30, heirs of victim Catalino Oquendo. 31, heirs of victim Rasul Daud. Number 32, heirs of victim Abdilay Ayada. Number 33, heirs of victim Marites Cablitas. Number 34, heirs of victim Mac Delbert Ariola. Number 35, heirs of victim Ernesto S. Maravilla Jr. Number 36, heirs of victim Benji Adolfo. Number 37, heirs of victim Norton Edza. 38, heirs of victim Henry Araneta. Number 39, heirs of victim Ray Merisco. Number 40, heirs of victim Bienvenido M. Legarta Jr. Number 41, heirs of victim Daniel Chamzon. 42, heirs of victim Romeo Cabillo. 43, heirs of victim Gina De La Cruz. Number 44, heirs of victim Rowena Ante. Number 45, heirs of victim Suraida Bernan. Number 46, heirs of victim John Caniban. 47, heirs of victim Hannibal Cachuela. Number 48, heirs of victim Wahida Ali Kalim. Number 49, heirs of victim Bay Farina Hassan Mangudadatu. Number 50, heirs of victim Miriam Kalimbol Pandal. Number 51, heirs of victim Concepcion Jaime Brizuela. Number 52, heirs of victim Alejandro Reblando Sr. Number 53, heirs of victim Mamotabay Mangudadatu. Number 54, heirs of victims Dailani and Pinky Balayman. Number 6, the accused are hereby directed to pay the aforementioned amount with an interest rate of 6% per annum, reckoned from the rendition of judgment until the award shall have been fully paid. Number 7, the filing fees shall constitute a first lien on the judgment pursuant to paragraph 3 of section 1, Rule 111 of the Rules of Court, and reiterated in OCA Circular Number 54-2018, dated March 21, 2018. Number 8, the cases filed against accused PO2 Hernani Discipulo, Datu Andal Ampatuan Sr., Mokhtar Daud, SPO1 Eduardo Ong, Nasser Talib alias Morales Sisay Amilol, Macton Bilungan, and PO1 Bersedik Alfonso are hereby dismissed pursuant to Article 89, Paragraph 1 of the Revised Penal Code. In criminal case number GL-Q-12-17868, all the accused above mentioned are hereby acquitted on ground of reasonable doubt. Accordingly, the claim for damages of the heirs of Reynaldo Bebot Momay are hereby dismissed. So ordered, Quezon City, December 19, 2019. Signed, Jocelyn A. Solis Reyes, Presiding Judge. Yung pa yung order na judge. Apo.
Your Honor, good morning. I'm Attorney Juman Pa, representing accused Police Superintendent Camao and Sunny Sabah. During the time when the dispositive portion was read, Superintendent Camao's name was mentioned as one of the accused or convicted. However, during the names, the personalities indicated for those who are acquitted, his name is also mentioned again. May I clarify, Your Honor, regarding the...
it refers to the last case which was filed.
His name was mentioned twice, Your Honor. The first, during the list of those who were convicted, and during the time that when the personalities were acquitted, his name is also mentioned, Your Honor.
I will review the
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, we would like to manifest that as a personal representative of the deceased Momay, that we will be filing our notice of appeal for the civil aspect of the case.
That's noted.
Your Honor, may I?
Okay.
In view of the conviction of accused Michael Joy Macaraig, who is not present at today's proceedings, Your Honor, prosecution moves for the issuance of warrant of arrest against him, Your Honor.
Morning, Your Honor. As the counsel of Police Inspector Michael Joy Macaraig, may I just be clarified as to the exact penalty of the accessory? Because I have, is that 6 years and 1 day to 10 years? 10 years. Your Honor, please, if give this representation, Your Honor, to produce the accused in this case within the week, Your Honor, or make the necessary explanation to this court. And I believe, Your Honor, the accused Macaraig has already served at least 8 years, if I'm not mistaken. So we will be submitting the accused to the...
Macaraig was notified of
Yes,
the
Your Honor.
date of promulgation.
Yeah, yesterday, Your Honor, I was able to talk to him, and he assured me that he will appear today, Your Honor. And for whatever reason now, Your Honor, that's why he is not here.
Okay.
I have yet to know the reason, Your Honor, please.
So meantime, the court will issue a warrant of arrest against him.
Yes, sure. I will submit, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Rina May Collado. Same appearance for accused Anwar Sr., Anwar Jr., and Anwar Sajid Ampatuan. We would like to manifest and put on record that we will be filing the appropriate pleading for the 3 accused within 15 days from today.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's noted.
I'm Attorney Rogie Maytin Espinosa, Your Honor. I joined the manifestation of my co-counsel here, Your Honor. For Jonathan Ingid, Your Honor. We'll be filing the appropriate pleading within 15 days.
Good morning, Your Honor. We will file the appropriate pleadings, Your Honor. I did not hear the name of my client, Bakal, Your Honor.
His name was included here.
Bakit, yes. Batawi Bakal.
Okay. Any manifestation? Any more?
Yes, Your Honor. For Datu Andal Ampatuan Jr., Your Honor, we will be filing our motion for reconsideration of the decision and other relevant pleadings thereto, Your Honor. Within 15 days, Your Honor.
Your Honor, same appearance for former ARMM Governor Datu Zaldy Ampatuan, Your Honor. Likewise, we respectfully manifest that we will be filing the necessary pleading and or motion within the same period, Your Honor, 15 days.
Noted. Okay. Any other manifestation? Order.
Your Honor, for those who are convicted, prosecution moves for the issuance of mitimus and immediate transfer to the Bilibid prison, Your Honor.
I will include that in the order.
Thank you, Your Honor.
When these cases were called, order. When these cases were called this morning for the when these cases were called this morning, the consolidated partial decision was promulgated. Pursuant to the unbanked resolution of the Supreme Court, let the corresponding mitimuses be issued for those convicted accused. Further, can I have the... Further, it appearing from records that alias warrants of arrest were already issued against the following accused, namely Datu Kanor Ampatuan, Datu Banarin Ampatuan, Datu Mama Ampatuan, Datu Zaldy Ampatuan Jr., Datu Haris Ampatuan, Datu Moning Ampatuan, Mohira Haji Anggulat, Parida Sangkala Gogo, June Pendatun, Kaji Faisal, P1 Ismail Barakir, I think you see, ano na, Barakir is excluded. P1 Abi Gadem, P1 Ebad Musa, P1 Kader Datunot, P1 Alfi Pagabangan, P1 Datu Nor Kadir, P1 Johar Kamindan, Sergeant Abdullah Karim Falcon, Sergeant Banzar Maulana, Sergeant Abdul Sokor Abdullah, Sergeant Alnor Ampatuan, Datu Norodin Nords, Datu Manong Ampatuan, Hamid Delayudin, Datu Dainga Ampatuan, Rodel Ampatuan, Manny Upam, Kurt Ampatuan, Tony Kenny Ampatuan, Intan Ampatuan, Kaji Amar Ampatuan, Muhammad Ampatuan, Rex Tony Dek, Alex Zaipon, Dodge Kamong, Haron Arog, Toktok Diabal, Batuta Zailon, Mando Balangan, Rene Giapal, Latif Gani, Alex Kadil, Camper Silongan, Sokor Kamsa, Sanggutin Musa, Rolex Kusin, Butu Umal, Surin Kayukay, Batuti Bara, Basir Abdul Magid, Gambayan Kasim, Mamugkay Kamsa, Zamora Sambulawan, Tokan Pamsag, Abdul Maula Uday, Magid Alba, Mads Uto, Abidin Kenny, G. Takilid, Andami Singkala, Nasruddin Giamadil, Toy Datumanong, Ben Mendog, Esya Mantawil, Muhammad Makauyag, Rusty Daud, Abu Sama Gyapal, Datunot Ayub, Butukan Esmalang, Kasim Dalending, Abdul Karim Manalasan, Magid Amil Daton, Tino Sanday, Ibrahim Abon, Mukhtar Santo Kindo, Andro K. Awil, Upam Saudi, Samsudin Camilon, Marco Enged, Nasser Gia, and Nasser Adam. Let these cases be archived insofar as said accused are concerned. Further, for failure of accused Michael Joy Macaraig to appear for today's promulgation of judgment despite notice, upon motion, let a warrant of arrest be issued against him. Insofar as accused Datu Sajid Islam Ampatuan is concerned, he is given 5 days from today within which to explain why he should not be cited in contempt of court for failure to appear despite notice. Further, in view of the promulgation of consolidated partial decision today, the motion to cancel bar withdraw ban filed by what is this? Travel. Why is this not clear? Filed by Attorney Pelumi Nomongan, Counsel for Commonwealth Insurance Company, is considered moot and academic. Furnish all parties copies of the consolidated partial decision. So ordered.
All rise.
Session adjourned.
Discourse adjourned.
In a much-awaited verdict, after nearly a decade, a Quezon City court finds members of the Ampatuan clan guilty for the Maguindanao Massacre, 57 counts of murder. The decision was handed down by Judge Jocelyn Solis Reyes. Among those convicted were Datu Andal Ampatuan Jr., Zaldy Ampatuan, Datu Anwar Ampatuan Sr., Miswari Ampatuan, and several others. They were sentenced to reclusion perpetua, maximum of 40 years in prison without parole. The court said the principal accused were found guilty beyond reasonable doubt. However, the court also acquitted Datu Ampatuan and several others. It says the prosecution failed to prove their guilt beyond reasonable doubt. The principal accused were also asked to pay the heirs of the 57 victims, including Jeneline Datu and others, but the court did not specify as to how much will be paid out. It orders the warden of the Quezon City Jail Annex to immediately release those accused who were acquitted. Lawyers of the accused, meanwhile, say they will file appropriate pleadings within 15 days. The prosecution moved for the court to issue an order for the immediate transfer of the convicted accused to the New Bilibid prison, and Judge Solis Reyes says she will include this in her motion. Again, members of the Ampatuan clan were found guilty for the Maguindanao Massacre. Among those convicted, Datu Andal Ampatuan Jr., Zaldy Ampatuan, and others. They were sentenced to reclusion perpetua, or maximum 40 years in prison without parole. We still have in the studio Attorney Ted Te and Chairman Eda Rosales. Your reaction?
Well, it's significant that three of the Ampatuans who were charged as principals were convicted and sentenced to the heaviest penalty the judge could sentence them to, which is reclusion perpetua without benefit of parole, which we need to say a little something about, because under the law cited by the judge, Republic Act 9346, that is the law that prohibited the imposition of the death penalty. And therefore, under that law, whatever offenses were punished with the death penalty at that time, in 2006, would be now substituted with the penalty of reclusion perpetua or life imprisonment, depending on the offense, without benefit of parole. So that means they will serve out the entire 40 years, subject, of course, to a 10-year, more or less 10-year preventive detention credit. So the remaining 30 or so years will be what will be actually served without benefit of parole. So it's significant. But of course, there were many others who were acquitted by the court because the court found that there was not enough evidence beyond reasonable doubt. One of them, of course, is Sajid and Toto Ampatuan. We will have to wait until we are able to read the actual text of the decision to find out the reasons for the acquittal. But it was sufficient that the court simply said that it did not find there was sufficient evidence. But of course, in terms of analyzing how the court appreciated the evidence, we would have to read the entire decision. The second thing that's significant, of course, is that there were other accused who were convicted as accessories, meaning they participated in the felonies after the fact, after the killing, and they were sentenced to an indeterminate sentence of 6 years and 1 day to 10 years. Yes, that's right. So again, it's significant because of the preventive detention credit. The case has been ongoing for about almost 10 years. And so the maximum length of time they could be sentenced is 10 years. So for many of these accessories, if they have been in jail since 2009, we're speaking a number of days, maybe, or even for some, they might even have exceeded already the 10-year period. No? So if they were arrested in 2009, for example, baka lumagpas na ng 10 years. So that's significant. The third point is that the court mentioned civil liability. But I really did not hear an amount. So maybe the amount is stated in the decision itself because the court adverted to the liability to pay an amount. So maybe the amount is broken down. And I would suppose, part of the 761 pages that the court said is a breakdown of the amounts to be paid to each of the complainants, to each of the heirs and each of the relatives of the victims that would probably take up much of the decision itself.
Pero before I go to Ma'am Eta, no, important question lang. Pwede ba i-appeal to, attorney?
Those who have been convicted, yes, definitely. And in fact, most of the all of the lawyers, I think, of those who were convicted had specified that they would file the appropriate pleadings. They did not immediately say appeal because, again, as lawyers, they would probably be weighing, again, after reading the decision, whether they would file a motion for reconsideration and take their chances that the court may, in fact, grant a reconsideration. But if they would have their motions for reconsideration denied, then they can still go up on appeal to the Court of Appeal. So those are two remedies that are available to those who are convicted. Those who have been acquitted, the prosecution has no recourse as far as the acquittal is concerned. But there is a recourse as far as the civil liability is concerned. If you will recall, Attorney Harry Roque made a manifestation on behalf of the 58th victim, no, Momay.
Si Reynaldo Momay.
Mr. Reynaldo Momay, because the case filed on his behalf was dismissed basically due to lack of evidence. But
let's just say that, attorney, kasi hindi nakita yung body niya.
hindi nakita yung body.
Pero may
Yes.
parang sinasabi na may dentures and
Yes,
others na.
yes. So,
pero hindi siya, ganun ba yun? Hindi
yes,
siya tinanggap
because
ng
again,
court?
the burden of proof, is a very high burden. Proof beyond reasonable doubt is a very high burden, and part of the burden is to show that someone was indeed killed, and that there is, well, kung walang remains, there is direct proof that there was someone killed. So maybe I'm speculating doon iikot yan, but Attorney Roque did mention that he would file a motion for reconsideration in regards to the civil liability of Momay, because again, the proving that Momay was killed as a civil fact is a lower burden than proving that Momay was killed by these accused as a criminal fact. The burden is higher. So that was the reason for the motion of Attorney Roque, that yung sa civil liability pwede nilang i-appeal yun. Pero yung sa acquittal, wala na appeal yun. Hindi na pwedeng i-appeal because that would be double jeopardy as far as the accused is concerned.
Ma'am Eta, ano pong reaction niyo sa decision ng court?
I'm happy. I'm happy because that was what I was hoping for, that the principal actors, the principals involved, would actually be convicted. And they were there. And I think that, even listening to a number of those victims or the families of the victims, ang sinasabi nila, basta yung mga principal makuha para magkaroon ng katarungan. So I felt that that was good. But it's important, when I was asking Teddy kanina, we must ensure that yung civil liability of damages from Zaldy Ampatuan et al. Should be monitored na mabayaran yung mga victims, yung mga families. That is so important because that is part of the process ng nagkakaroon ng access to justice itong mga pamilya outside of the criminal, the decisions ng kwan. And then again, from the point of view of an advocate of human rights, this must be popularized in simple language so that the people will understand the historic decision that was made. I consider it a historic decision. If they want to appeal, let them appeal, but at least they were convicted, and this must be made known to the people that impunity is not forever as a climate, a situation and a condition in our criminal justice system, flawed as it may be.
Ma'am, politically, yung impact nito, because the Ampatuans are, it's a very, very powerful clan sa Maguindanao. And we were in Mindanao pala, and we were talking na, because parang sinasabi na nga natin in a way, state-sponsored yung nangyari. So
state
political
violence
impact
yan.
is very, very big.
At makikita mo, nahati rin dun sa mga police forces. Tama lamang yon. So I think that, I know that it was too long. Some people say it was really too long. But the fact that this is made now, the decision was made, it is up for us, those who are in the media, particularly the Commission on Human Rights, and all other institutions, in other words, the duty bearers, to spread the good word and let the people know in order to empower them and let them understand that democratic governance must still be upheld precisely through the judicial process, which is exactly what happened now.
Attorney, balikan ko rin si attorney. Attorney, binanggit kanina ni Judge, no, 761 pages.
Yes.
And she mentioned it's a consolidated partial decision.
Yes.
Bakit nga po partial decision?
Well, partial only because there are still about 80 who are at large, no? And therefore the case is not over kasi meron pang 80 na naka-charge pero hindi pa nahuli. And therefore, if you will note towards the latter part, no, when she was issuing her final order in this particular proceeding, sinabi na may word na ginamit siya, archive. No?
Yeah.
So those cases, because at large yung mga akusado, ina-archive man yun. When you say archive, it means that the court will not place it on its active docket. Dahil wala pang ililitis. Wala yung tao eh. Wala yung akusado eh. So pag may na-aresto dun sa isa o ilan dun sa 80, babalik niyan sa court. Bubuksan uli yung kaso. And because it is the same case, the evidence that has been presented can also be used in relation to them, subject to additional evidence specific to them that may be presented. So ganun uli yun. So hindi pa siya tapos. Tapos, kaya tinawag na partial. No? Consolidated because there are 57 in one case plus may 58 pa. Yung pang 58 pinagsama sa isang paglilitis. That's why consolidated. So that's the reason why it's called a partial judgment. So that hindi na aantayin yung 80 at large.
Again, for those who just tuned in, Quezon City Court finds members of the Ampatuan clan guilty for the Maguindanao Massacre, 57 counts of murder. Among those convicted, Datu Andal Ampatuan Jr., Zaldy Ampatuan, Datu Anwar Ampatuan Sr., Zaldy Ampatuan, and others. They were sentenced to reclusion perpetua or maximum of 40 years in prison without parole. Another brother, however, Datu Ampatuan and several others were acquitted. Yung minamention nyo kanina, attorney, pagdating doon sa acquittals, wala nang pwedeng gawin ang prosecution?
Wala nang pwedeng gawin ang prosecution because an acquittal, it takes effect immediately. No? When the court acquits a suspect, no, or an accused, automatically yan, laya yan unless there is another reason why he is being detained. No? May kaso pa siya. But kung wala na siyang kaso, then dapat laya na siya. That's what the court ordered as well.
Okay. At this point, let's go to General Santos City, where some of the families of the victims are holding a media briefing.
Journeying with these kids and the families in the past 10 years is one of my work as the Director of Justice and Peace. Ito yung pambungad ko na tinulungan sa larangan ng hustisya. And hindi madali. It's not easy hearing their sentiments, economic problems, the way the incident devastated their families. And just a sort of an expression of embracing na mafe-feel nila yung simbahan na nakinig, nakiisa. So, ngayon, masaya akong parang may step 1 na convicted yung iba naman hindi. Para sa akin, okay na yon, step 1 pa lang. If the maximum demand of total conviction is not realized, siguro diyan tayo sa compromise. At normal sa justice system natin yung motion for reconsideration and appeals. At least meron na at hindi ibig sabihin na hihinto sa pakikibaka para totally ma-accomplish yung masiserve yung justice na maisama din yung hindi naisama sa conviction. So, I would define impunity if the prescribed number of years would be truly served. Hindi mapaiksi yung number of years. Yan ang impunity. Baka maya-maya, mawala tahimik na at makalabas lang. Parang kailan lang. Sana yung impunity na yan ay matatapos na rin. Then, on the part of the judiciary, kung ano yung dapat tapusin, tapusin na. Sa ganitong Pasko, parang 50-50 yung kasayahan. At least may 50 na. Sa noon, in the past 10 years, 0 talaga. So, sa gobyerno naman, sana yung at large pa na marami ay mahuhuli rin para matapos na rin. So, sa akin naman, sa pamilya and the whole of the media, nandito lang ang simbahan para handang tumulong magsilbi sa inyo. Thank you.
Meron po kayong mga question, please identify yourself, saka po kayo magtanong. Si from TV5? Ah. Meron pa po pala.
At meron po akong naisip. Yung mga nakalabas po, paano po yung pamilya? Baka balikan po nila. Siyempre hindi po natin alam na kaya nga nilang patayin yung 58. Kami pa na pa isa-isa. Iba yung ugali nila. Kaya dapat makulong talaga sila. Yun lang ang panawagan ko na sana na bigyan pa rin kami ng pagkakataon na para ipaglaban kung ano ang dapat naming makuha na hustisya at makulong talaga sila. At hindi lang po sa Maguindanao Massacre yung pinaglalaban ko. Para po rin po ito sa lahat, freedom para sa lahat ng media, freedom sa lahat. Yun lamang po.
Tanong? Yes, Sir Shin.
May sentiments din ba na parang gano'n kay Miss Maravilla, yung ibang mga families here na knowing Sajid, no? Sajid, nakalaya, yung mga police involved, karamihan, nakalaya. May takot? May pangamba? Do you share the same sentiments?
Siyempre, kami, natatakot din kami as mga anak. Kasi nakaya nga nila patayin yung yung isa sa sa magulang namin. Paano na kami? Na patuloy na lumalaban sa kung ano yung sinimulan nila. At gaya ng sinabi ni Maravilla, paano na kami na kaya nila ay pwede rin nila kaming balikan. At yun. Kasi napakulong namin sila eh. So, alam namin na may galit din sila sa amin.
What you're seeing is a press conference by some members of the families of the victims of the Maguindanao Massacre. Again, for those, some of them have expressed they were happy with the decision. Sabi nung isa, parang compromise daw yan, at least kahit papano ay may naging desisyon. Pero the others are saying na they fear for retaliation, lalo na daw dun sa mga na-acquit dahil daw baka balikan yung kanilang pamilya. For those who just tuned in, Quezon City Court has handed down the verdict after nearly a decade, and it finds members of the Ampatuan clan guilty for the Maguindanao Massacre. 57 counts. Among those convicted, Datu Andal Ampatuan Sr, Zaldy Ampatuan, and several others. They were sentenced to reclusion perpetua, or a maximum of 40 years in prison without parole. But the court acquitted another Ampatuan family member, Datu Sajid Ampatuan, and several others. It says the prosecution failed to prove their guilt beyond reasonable doubt. We're seeing live pictures from the court, and That's Unsay. That's Datu Unsay Ampatuan Jr. there, talking to some people. Those behind the what's that? The grill or the bars are yung mga lawyers yung nandyan na nakaupo kanina, no, attorney, no. So, hindi pa natin masabi ngayon what the next movement will be, pero may request kanina yung prosecution for those who were convicted na idiretso na daw sa Nobilibid Prison. Ganun na. Yeah. Okay.
So that's what they were requesting. The DOJ panel was requesting right after the sentence
Yes,
was promulgated that committee must be ordered, which is an order of commitment. So that's what
Yun
the
na yun,
judge,
ano?
the judge ordered
So,
it
mangyayari
already.
dito from here, attorney,
Diretso
diretso
silang-
na yan.
diretso
Sa
silang
bilibid, ano?
bilibid,
Yung mga convicted. At all those, kanina, nag-manifest din yung lawyers. Like what you mentioned is they will be filing the appropriate
Proper pleading, whatever it
pleading.
is. Kasi babasahin pa nila, I'm sure babasahin pa nila yung decision, and then they will file the appropriate pleadings within the period given, that's 15 days from today. But yeah, but as far as those convicted, diretso ng bilibid yan because the mitimus was ordered already.
Okay.
Can I say
Yes,
something also? But,
Ma'am.
you know, I think it's very important for us to recognize the fact that, kasi this is the legal process, no? But that the decision that was made, but politically, what we kept on saying kanina, no? Na it very shows that the political dynasties must be addressed with urgency, no? And this is a political decision because look at the children. What are we going to do? Baka gantihan kami.
Yung mga nagsalita kanina, ma'am, nakita natin.
Natatakot sila. And that is precisely where it becomes very important that the local governments, the LGUs, down to the barangay level, are given a rights-based approach to human rights, rights-based approach to governance, and the NGOs and the civil society organizations should help in giving security to these children. Kasi ang kwan it's the culture, the political culture that we must really address. In the legal decision, that is historic, but politically and as far as the social culture is concerned, we must still continue to address this, and no less than human rights education down to at the local level, no, in local government must be given the duty bearers, the ones who hold office.
Actually, tatanong nga sana kita, ma'am, kung i-consider mo na closure yung naging decision. But from what you're telling me now, parang start pa lang talaga to, nung another process.
Yes, it's a continuing thing. And I guess you combine this with the Bangsamoro, the BARM that has been set up. Actually, its potentials, no? The potentials for helping develop enhance the society at the societal level. Dito sa BARM, and Maguindanao is part of the BARM effort, can actually be addressed constructively. Ako, I'm former chair of the Commission on Human Rights, but I think that we should give so much attention to the political culture that is operating right now and to help the BARM, especially Maguindanao, address good governance and security, especially for the children and the family, the victims, no?
No, I'm just looking at the yung live pictures kanina, medyo natakpan eh. Kinukunan ng blood pressure. I think that's Zaldy Ampatuan yung nakaupo dun sa yung isa sa mga nakaupo. That's Datu Unsay on the left side of the screen. Kanina parang natakpan lang. May nakita tayong kinukunan ng blood pressure doon sa among those who were. That's Datu Unsay, yeah. And then the other one kanina yung isang nakaupo, I think is Zaldy Ampatuan. Kay Attorney Ted, overall sa justice system, medyo mabigat itong naging verdict talaga na binaba ni Justice Solis Reyes. For the justice system, ano nakikita mong implications?
Well, it is significant because again, it puts an end to at least this part of the trial, no? Pero meron pa kasi 80. And so it is in a sense, again, we've used the words historic, significant, no? And it is all of those. But again, in terms of the machinery, a judge will look at it as simply, well, it's part of my job to do this, right? And so what we'd want to see is that consistently na maging ganito na not only na mataas ang interest ng mga tao in terms of following up cases, but also that judges can can arrive at a decision within a particular period of time, na kaya mo asahan na pag nag-file ka ng kaso ay matatapos ng ganitong period, no? Of course, it took 10 years. People are saying mahaba masyado, nag-delay masyado. I mean, personally, you're talking over 100 accused. And each one is entitled to his day in court. And if you're counsel, if I were counsel for the private complainant, gusto ko matanggal yung argument kasi nila na walang due process eh. So, kung sa akin, pwede kong sabihin, sige, bigyan kita ng due process, no? In the end, pag talagang malakas ang kaso, paninindigan ko yan, makukonvict at makukonvict ka, di ba? So, in a sense, if you look at it, 10 years, over 100 people, that's not a very long time. No? In fact, mabilis pa ito.
Sabi nga dati ni late Senator Joker Arroyo, baka daw abutin ng 200.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you remember, he said that 200 years.
Hindi naman siguro.
Oo.
Pero you know, it could be longer. It could have been longer.
Yes.
Yeah, it could have been longer. And we must also mention that it was also for this case only that the Supreme Court came out with a very specific set of rules, the Ampatuan guidelines, no?
Yes.
Para lang mapabilis talaga yung kaso. The judge was given assisting judges.
Yes.
Her docket was reduced to only one. Ito lang yung kasong hinahawakan niya. And then
Judicial
affidavits were adopted.
Yeah.
Inallow siya to render partial decisions, right? No, and on the other end naman, si Judge Solis Reyes, I'm sure, you know, yung mga ka-contemporary niya sa RTC, yung iba na-promote na eh. Siya hindi siya makapag-apply because, you know, if she applied and she was promoted, talagang matatanggal yung madadelay lalo yung kaso. So those are the others. That's the other side, no, of this entire process. So again, it's a good point in time that we are at now that this has been resolved, big verdict.
Yes.
But again, it's a start of another process, the process of review. Ito naman yung nasa Court of Appeals tayo, nasa Supreme Court tayo. So again, magbibilang uli, mag-aantay uli tayo kung anong gagawin ng Court of Appeals, anong gagawin ultimately ng Supreme Court on those who were convicted and those who will definitely appeal to the Court of Appeals and maybe later to the Supreme Court.
Okay, we'll talk more about this case. You're watching a CNN Philippines special presentation of the Maguindanao Massacre verdict. We will be back after a short break. Welcome back. You're watching a CNN Philippines special presentation of the Maguindanao Massacre verdict. Datu Zaldy Ampatuan, Datu Anwar Ampatuan, and several others were found guilty, while Datu Ampatuan and dozens of policemen were acquitted. Right now, we're still seeing live pictures from the courtroom inside Camp Bagong Diwa. That's Zaldy Ampatuan. He was among those who was convicted. A few minutes ago, before we went on a break, yung nakita natin na kinukunan siya ng blood pressure kasi he was hospitalized since October after suffering a stroke, and he was ordered to be brought back to Camp Bagong Diwa. He just returned to jail yesterday. So again, those are live pictures from inside the courtroom in Camp Bagong Diwa. Some of the accused are still there, and si Attorney Ted was telling us na kasama nga doon sa order ni Judge Solis Reyes yung commitment order na dadali na diretso yung mga convicted sa New Bilibid prison.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Again, let's listen to the announcement of the verdict.
Wherefore, in view of the foregoing, judgment is hereby rendered as follows. In criminal case numbers Q-09-162148272, Q-109162216231, Q-10-162652266, and Q-10-1637766, or 57 counts of murder. Number 1, the prosecution having established the guilt beyond reasonable doubt of the following accused who are found to have acted as principal, namely Datu Andal Ampatuan Sr., Datu Anwar Sajid Datu Ulo Ampatuan, Datu Anwar Datu EP Ampatuan Jr., Police Inspector Saudi Muhammad, PO1 Jonathan Engid, Abedin Alamada, alias Commander Bedi, Talembo Tami Masukat, alias Talembo Kahar Abdul Rahman, Teng P. Sali, alias Abdullah Hamid Abdul Kahar, Mani Ampatuan, Nasser Esmael, alias Nasruddin Esmael, Datu Zaldy Ampatuan, Police Chief Inspector Sukarno Dikay, Police Superintendent Abu Sama Mundas Magid, Police Superintendent Banarin Kamaong, Datu Anwar Ampatuan Sr., Tato Tampogaw, Muhades Ampatuan, Muhammad T. Datu Manong alias Nicomedes Ahmad Tolentino, Miswari Ampatuan, Taya Bangkulat Salik Bangkulat, Thong Yamano alias Ibrahim Kamal Tatak, Sani K. Pindi alias Joven Salazar Piang, alias Bimbo Salazar Piang, Armando Ambalgan alias Hamil Bulatukan, Kayansang Bulatukan Omar, testified as Omar Bulatukan Kayansang, Kudza Masukat Ugya alias Datu Teng Ibrahim or Mustafa Ibrahim, Edres Kasan alias Edres Gogo Alip, who testified as Edres Gugo Kasan, Zakaria P. Akil alias Quago Akil, and Samaon Andatuan. They are hereby convicted and sentenced to suffer the penalty of imprisonment of reclusion perpetua without paroles pursuant to RA 9346. Number 2, likewise, the prosecution having established the guilt beyond reasonable doubt of the following accused who are found to have acted as accessories, namely Police Inspector Michael Joy Macaraeg, PO3 Felix Enyate, PO3 Abibuddin Abdul Ghani, PO3 Rasid Anton, PO2 Hamad Nana, PO2 Saudi Pasutan, PO2 Saudiar Ula, PO1 Esprialito Leharso, PO1 Narcook Maskud, PO1 Pia Camidon, PO1 Esmael Gialal, PO1 Arnulfo Soriano, PO1 Heritage Amaba, a member of the 1508 PMG, Police Senior Inspector Abdul Gapor Abad and Bong Andal. They are hereby convicted and sentenced to suffer the indeterminate penalty of imprisonment of 6 years of prison correctional as minimum to 10 years and 8 months of prison mayor as maximum. Number 3, on ground of reasonable doubt, the following accused are hereby acquitted, namely SPO1 Elizer Rendaje, SPO1 Alimola Gianaton, SPO1 Samad Magindra, PO3 Ricky Balanhueco, PO3 Gibrael Alano, PO2 Rexon Giama, PO1 Amir Solaiman, PO1 Bajun Panegas, PO1 Pendatun Dima, PO1 Ebara Bebot, PO1 Tamano Hadi, PO1 Michael Macarongon, also known as Labayan Group, SPO1 Ali Solano, PO3 Felix Daquilos, PO2 Kendatu Rakim, PO1 Abdul Rahman Batarasa, PO1 Marjul Julkadi, PO1 Datu Jerry Uto, PO1 Muhammad Balading, PO1 Marsman Nilong, PO1 Ismael Barakir, PO1 Abdul Manan Saavedra, and PO1 Jimmy Kadtong, known as Solano Group, PO1 Sandy Sabang, Takpan Dilon, Datu Teng Ibrahim or Mustafa Ibrahim alias Kudsa Masukat, PO1 Warden Legawan, Jonathan Ampatuan, Jimmy Ampatuan, Rainer Ebus,
Counsel.
Mohammad Sanki, Tho Amino, Norman Tatak, Malagyal Tanuri alias Johari Montok Malagyal, Alimudin Sanguyod alias Norodin Malang, Mama Habib, Sahid Yamadel alias Arnel Abdullah, Datutulon Esmail, Kasim Lingkong alias Abdul Kadir Saludin, Akad Makaton alias Muhammad Salazar Piang, Norhato Camino alias Alfetche Banding, Nasser Malagya alias Ramon Dadulo, Police Inspector Banarin Kamaong, and Police Superintendent Abdul Wahid Pedtukasan. PO1 Ahmad Kamsa Badal, PO2 Tani Dalgan, PO1 Anwar Masukat, Samsudin Daud, Maot Bangkulat alias Benji Dagendengan, Denga Mentol alias Ronnie Ofong, Fahad Uto alias Richard Gofel, Datu Ahmad Tato Ampatuan,
Order in court, please.
and Datu Sajid Islam Ampatuan. Number 4, likewise accused PO1 Abdul Guadatu, PO1 Oscar Donato, and PO1 Michael Madzig are acquitted as the evidence of the prosecution has absolutely failed to prove their guilt. Accordingly, the jail warden of Quezon City Jail Annex is hereby ordered to immediately release the aforementioned accused and
Order in court, please. The proceeding is not yet over.
the jail. Sorry. The jail warden of Quezon City Jail Annex is hereby ordered to immediately release the aforementioned accused unless they are being detained for some other lawful cause or causes. Number 5, all the principal accused are likewise ordered to pay the following heirs jointly and severally. Namely, number 1, the heirs of victim by Jeneline Manguda Datu. Number 2, heirs of victim Napoleon Salaysay. Number 3, heirs of victim Victor Nunez. Number 4, heirs of victim Joel Parcon. Heirs of victim Santos June Gatchalian. Number 6, heirs of victim Jolito Evardo. Number 7, heirs of victim Andres Teodoro. Number 8, heirs of victim Daryl Vincent de los Reyes. Number 9, heirs of victim Anthony Ridao. Number 10, heirs of victim by Eden Manguda Datu. Number 11, heirs of victim Eugene De Melo. Number 12, heirs of victim Jose Joy Duhay. Number 13, heirs of victim Arturo Betia. Number 14, heirs of victim Lindo Lupogan. Number 15, heirs of victim Mercy Palabrica. Number 16, heirs of victim Ronnie Perante. Number 17, heirs of victim Rosel Morales. Number 18, heirs of victim Wilhelm Palabrica. 19, heirs of victim Rubel Bataluna. 20, heirs of victim Francisco Subang. 21, heirs of victim Raida Sapalon Pamensang. 22, heirs of victim Rahima Palawan. Number 23, heirs of victim Noel Decena. Number 24, heirs of victim Fernando Razon. Number 25, heirs of victim Eleanor Dalmasio. Number 26, heirs of victim Cynthia Oquendo. Number 27, heirs of victim Marife Montaño. Number 28, heirs of victim Jeffon Kadagdagon. Number 29, heirs of victims Eduardo and Cecil Lechoncito. Number 30, heirs of victim Catalino Oquendo. 31, heirs of victim Rasul Daud. Number 32, heirs of victim Abdilay Ayada. Number 33, heirs of victim Marites Cablitas. Number 34, heirs of victim Mac Delbert Ariola. Number 35, heirs of victim Ernesto S. Maravilla Jr. Number 36, heirs of victim Benji Adolfo. Number 37, heirs of victim Norton Edza. 38, heirs of victim Henry Araneta. Number 39, heirs of victim Ray Merisco. Number 40, heirs of victim Bienvenido M. Legarta Jr. Number 41, heirs of victim Daniel Chamzon. 42, heirs of victim Romeo Cabillo. 43, heirs of victim Gina De La Cruz. Number 44, heirs of victim Rowena Ante. Number 45, heirs of victim Suraida Bernan. Number 46, heirs of victim John Caniban. 47, heirs of victim Hannibal Cachuela. Number 48, heirs of victim Wahida Ali Kalim. Number 49, heirs of victim Bay Farina Hassan Manguda Datu. Number 50, heirs of victim Miriam Kalimbol Pandal. Number 51, heirs of victim Concepcion Jaime Brizuela. Number 52, heirs of victim Alejandro Reblando Sr. Number 53, heirs of victim Mamotabay Manguda Datu. Number 54, heirs of victims Lailani and Pinky Balayman. Number 6, the accused are hereby directed to pay the aforementioned amount with an interest rate of 6% per annum, reckoned from the rendition of judgment until the award shall have been fully paid. Number 7, the filing fees shall constitute a first lien on the judgment pursuant to paragraph 3 of section 1, Rule 111 of the Rules of Court, and reiterated in OCA Circular Number 54-2018 dated March 21, 2018. Number 8, the cases filed against accused PO2 Hernani Discipulo, Datu Andal Ampatuan Sr, Mokhtar Daud, SPO1 Eduardo Ong, Nasser Talib alias Morales Sisay Amilol, Macton Bilungan, and PO1 Bersedik Alfonso are hereby dismissed pursuant to Article 89, Paragraph 1 of the Revised Penal Code. In criminal case number GL-Q-12-17868, all the accused above mentioned are hereby acquitted on ground of reasonable doubt. Accordingly, the claim for damages of the heirs of Reynaldo Bebot Momay are hereby dismissed. So ordered, Quezon City, December 19, 2019. Signed, Jocelyn A. Solis Reyes, Presiding Judge.
Don't even use it. It's a different penalty.
Okay, we go back here to our guests in the studio. We still have Attorney Ted Te and former Human Rights Chair Eta Rosales. Attorney, we went back to the reading of the verdict. Isa dun sa order ng court is for the principal accused to pay the heirs of the 57 victims, pero no amount was mentioned. But
Yes.
in the order, in the release, the decision released by the Supreme Court, paano
no amount
nila
was
nilagay?
read,
Oo.
but they obviously were referring to civil liability arising from the offense.
Okay.
And siguro kasi hahaba kasi bawat isang victim, no, bawat isang relative or heir may amount na binigay, and the PIO of the Supreme Court posted it on Twitter recently. Yung breakdown. So the typical breakdown of civil liability would be civil indemnity, meaning indemnity for the death of the relative. That's a fixed amount, no? So 100,000 yun. And then other items of damages are dependent on proof. Kung ano yung na-prove, napatunayan nung complainant. So dito, what the court did was to order moral damages. Moral damages arise out of the killing, no? Ito yung ang kino-cover nito yung hindi ka mapagkatulog, yung anxiety arising out of this, embarrassment, social humiliation. And then there's an item that's called exemplary damages, which is an item of damages so that parang hindi na maulit, no? Intended to teach the offender a lesson. And then the biggest item, because all of those items, based on my very quick rundown of the discussion of the court, almost the same lahat, 100,000, 100,000, 100,000, more or less average of 300,000 for the three items. The last item of damages is the one na medyo nagbago kasi yun dependent on each person, yung loss of earning capacity. So it's actually subject to proof kung, for example, if a person was killed at this age and the projection, yung salary niya, the projection was if this person had lived to this age, how much would this person have earned, no? So may ganun siya. In fact, it involves to some extent actuarial math to project the life expectancy as well as possible earning capacity of this person. So doon nagbabago. If you will read the breakdown by the court doon sa nakalagay doon sa website ng Supreme Court, makikita mo doon, yung iba doon, hundreds of thousands, may iba doon millions.
Millions, yan.
So, depende yon sa...
May 4 million.
Depende yon doon sa proof na naipakita. So,
like yung kaninang tinanong ko sa inyo, attorney, nakita ko I was looking for yung kay Jeneline Mangudadati,
Right.
the wife of Congressman. Most likely, wala siya kasing trabaho, kaya wala siya nung
walang
last part.
earning
loss
capacity.
Of, yeah,
Yes,
oo.
that's right. That's true. That's
Tapos
true.
for the journalists, syempre, iba-iba nga.
Iba-iba. Kasi depende yon sa, at that point in their life, when they were killed, what were they earning? What was the projection if they had lived towards, let's say, sabi mo na 60 years old or 70 years old, no? So magkano yung nawala dun sa pamilya? That's the item of damages that the court discussed. Kaya ang curious ako kasi hindi pa na total eh.
Yes,
so I don't know how much that was the total awarded by the court in terms of civil indemnity. But dahil nga iba-iba, so makikita natin yun. What will happen here is that once the judgment becomes final, no, and then the private complainants, the victims, can now ask for execution of that judgment.
So hindi pa siya agad bababayad? Once
Kasi
final conviction,
pwede pa kasi
i-appeal.
nilang ipa-reconsider eh. Pwede pa nilang i-reconsider, pwede pang i-appeal. So posible yun. So antayin muna natin maging final. Pag naging final na yan, then the heirs, the victims can now say, i-ano na namin yan, i-execute na namin yan. But of course, those who will go out go up on appeal, no? For example, for those who were convicted, no? Definitely isasama nila sa appeal 'yon, yung civil liability.
Okay, yun yung sinasabi ni Ma'am Eta na isa rin sa mahigpit na issue na dapat bantayan yung pagbabayad no nung civil indemnity. Pero Ma'am, may sinasabi kayo na marami pang ibang points na dapat tignan dito sa historic verdict na ito.
Oh, the culture, the political culture of the area, because if one significant thing that we actually should recognize is it's a big blow to the culture of impunity that had been going on for so long already, no? Pero how do you break the culture of impunity? Hindi naman pwedeng maging ganitong klaseng mga decisions one after the other. You can't have 58 people being killed, no? So I think that a second point there that should be seen is to address the question of how important it is. Para sa akin, personally, doon ko nakita na you have to dismantle these warlords. Yung kanilang political dynasties. Dahil binasa ko kasi yung research na ginawa ng media yung NUJP, tapos yung lahat yung ginawa nilang tapos nakita ko yung kung gaano ang climate of fear among the villagers for years on end by the Ampatuans. Hindi lang naman yung Ampatuans, maraming warlords diyan. So doon ko nakikita how important that is, that has to be addressed. Number 3, importante rin na I was watching and I was listening to the press conference of the children. Paano yung security nila, di ba? So yung security nila, magagawa lamang yan if there is an inclusive approach to giving them that security.
And you also mentioned kanina, Ma'am, the role of the media.
The role of the media. The role of the media was terrific, dahil siya yung talagang from day one. Can you imagine 10 years yan?
Kasi 32 din naman journalists
32
among those killed.
But even then, I mean, I guess it's because of the significance of the volume of the media people who were actually killed. But that is how important it is. And without them, dahil sinubaybayan nila, it has been kept alive. Malaki ang papel ng media. But I think that media should continue to have this role, pero kasama na rin dyan yung other institutions. Academe. Dapat mabuhay yung academe. At sila, malaman nila ito. Plus the other religious institutions, faith-based institutions, should all come together with the NGOs.
Okay. Ma'am, punta muna tayo ulit sa field. Our Justice Correspondent, Anjo Alimario, joins us live from Camp Bagong Diwa in Taguig City. Anjo, kamusta ang sitwasyon dyan? Anong update?
Well, Ruth, let me share to you what happened inside the courtroom, because we were actually located adjacent to the courtroom, and the mood was tense inside the courtroom while the dispositive part of the decision was being read. We stayed in a room, of course, adjacent to the courtroom. We could hear people clapping and cheering while the court announced Zaldy Ampatuan and Datu Andal were among those who were found to be guilty. But when everything was over, we could also hear people crying and shouting. And too bad we couldn't get a video of the reaction. We were barred from filming. Now, the case of Reynaldo Momay was dismissed on the ground of a reasonable doubt. He was a photographer for a local paper and was declared missing after 57 bodies, including those of 31 other journalists, were dug from mass graves. It took 3 years after the massacre before he was recognized as the 58th victim. Now, the body of Reynaldo Momay was never found. The Justice Department included him based on his dentures found at the scene of the killings, blamed on a powerful Zaldy clan, the Ampatuan family. Really a painful end for the family of Momay today, Ruth.
7 minutes. Yes, Anjo?
Yes, Ruth.
Yeah, Anjo, pinag-usapan namin dito ni Attorney Te na kasi nandyan po, we're actually looking at live pictures from inside the courtroom, no? Ang mangyayari dito, tama, diretso na sila sa New Bilibid Prison.
Well, we have to wait for the order of Judge Solis Reyes for the commitment order. But naturally, for those who are already found guilty, of course, the next course of action will be to send them to Bilibid. But let's see what will be the commitment order. How will Judge Solis Reyes appreciate this this ruling, Ruth.
And then may hinihintay pa ba tayong ibang like a press conference from the relatives or ano pang inaasahan natin from your end?
From here, Ruth, from Camp Maguindanao, we're just waiting for all the parties to go out of the courtroom. We understand that almost all of the lawyers are already out, including the DOJ prosecutors, and we do understand that the DOJ prosecutors, the panel of prosecutors, will be holding their own press conference at the Department of Justice, Ruth.
Okay, Anjo Alimario there reporting from Camp Bagong Diwa in Taguig City. Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara is elated by the conviction of the primary suspects in the Maguindanao Massacre case. Here's what he said.
Today is the day that we have waited, and I am very happy as Secretary of Justice that finally justice has been served. We of course know that the principal accused here have been convicted, but some of the accused have been acquitted. So this is something that the prosecution has more or less anticipated. We know from the beginning where our strength lies and where certain gaps in our evidence exist. So this is something that we more or less expected. We're happy with the decision of the court. We trust that the judge has very extensively examined the evidence, and we trust in her impartiality in the rendition of this very important judgment. And I thank the prosecution as well as the private prosecutors who were involved in this case for the tireless effort that they exerted in making sure that judgment will finally come, and the deaths of so many victims, including members of the journalism profession, will find their day of redemption. So again, congratulations to the prosecution, and we are very happy that finally today we have seen that justice has been served. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, let's go back here to our guests in the studio. Attorney, naalala ko lang yung isang pinanood natin kanina dun sa family ng isang victim, no? Dun sa General Santos City. He was saying na dapat daw bantayan kasi baka bigla na lang daw may makalabas doon sa mga accused or yung, di ba sinabi, reclusion perpetua for those convicted without parole. Is there a possibility na makakalabas pa sila pag ma-overturn ba yung decision? Or paano?
Well,
yeah.
We make a distinction as far as if they are, for example, allowed to go out on parole, on pardon. Ibang bagay yun, di ba? But in the ordinary course of proceedings, dediretso yan sila sa bilibid. They will serve their sentence pending their appeal. So they have 30 more years to go. So if the appeal takes 20 years, and they will be in jail. No, I think they are proceeding from the premise that you can't trust the jail system. So you know, it's an opinion that probably has been formed by what they've been reading, what they've been hearing. But in the ordinary course of procedure is wala na bang gagawin kundi ikulong sila kasi nahatulan na sila So they go straight to bilibid. What they're waiting for now is the actual order which the judge issued earlier. Itatype na lang yon, lalabas yon kasi ibibigay nila sa bilibid, and then bilibid will take them in, and then they will go to the process. And I think maybe by tonight, makikita nyo na yan. If you monitor them, if you follow them to bilibid, makikita mo na yan. Ikukulong na yan, diretso na yan. No? So, of course, you know, it's hard to fault them for some skepticism, no? Na on their part na totoo na ba ito, no? But again, katulad nung ginawa nila for the past 10 years, they've really monitored this, they've really kept watch over this. So maybe that's one thing that can also be done, no? Na while pending appeal, alamin din kung talaga bang nasa kulungan, no? I'd like to think that hopefully mawawala na yung mga horror stories na gano'n, na yung hindi pala nakakulong talaga or mayroong mga special privileges na nakakalabas, no? So that's really the burden of the jail authorities now, to show to people that we have a functioning penal system, no? A system of penology that kung talagang ipapakulong ka, nakakulong ka talaga. No?
And before we go, let's talk about the woman of the hour, Mama. Yung sinasabi ko kanina, si Judge Jocelyn Solis Reyes, no? Yung such a heavy, such a, you know, a
Yes.
historic decision.
It's admirable, you know. And we were talking, and they were saying that actually she could have done the easy road of not taking on this case.
Okay.
And she could have joined her colleagues. Others have already been promoted. But no, she decided to take on this case. It was an act of courage and a lot of sacrifices, and she was a woman. So I think that we have to admire her, and we have to give her recognition for the work that she has done for the past 10 years. No?
Okay.
It's a historic decision, and the Filipino people are made proud of exactly what she has done.
And we end this CNN Philippines special presentation. We'd like to thank Attorney Ted Te and former Commission on Human Rights Chairperson Eta Rosales. You've been watching a CNN Philippines special presentation on the guilty verdict in the 2009 Maguindanao Massacre. In the meantime, another breaking news story: the impeachment of